Hello everybody, Maven here, and if you are a PvP player, you would not believe me when I told you that a 180 RPM hand cannon could be good. So today's video is based around the Posterity hand cannon from Deep Stone Crypt. Because it's a 180, it's automatically an F tier weapon in PvP, but with the combo we're doing with it today, we can bring it up to about a B- and make it also extremely forgiving and easy to use in the hands of any player. So let's break it down. Don't forget to drop a like, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, huge warning. I'm about to speak the two magic words that are immediately going to make 50% of people click off of this video. And those magic words are Gutshot Straight. A lot of people despise this perk, but honestly, it's been very solid since Bungie buffed it and made it more accurate, especially more so if you enhance it, which with Posterity is craftable, so you can enhance it. And this is a meta perk, whether you want to believe it or not. It has been meta on the Amit, which was and still is meta, according to Trials Report. It is still this week number 4 in the meta, and the first week of the season it was number 1 in the meta. So Gutshot, unfortunately, is a meta perk, whether you like it or not. So I have been scouring our options looking for potential weapon archetypes that could break this perk, and the 180 RPM hand cannons could potentially be one of those. There are only 2 180 RPM hand cannons that get this perk, that is Posterity and the 7 Seraph Officer's Revolver, but this thing is trash and atrocious to farm, and Posterity is definitely a lot better stat-wise. Also, you can enhance it. Now, since this video is geared more towards lesser skilled Crucible players and newer players, I guess I should read off Gutshot Straight. So when you aim down sights, your body shot damage is increased by 20% for hand cannons, bows, scout rifles, and auto rifles, and 10% by pulses, traces, sidearms, and SMGs. That's why it's better on an archetype like this, because it's a hand cannon, it gets that 20% buff. Now, when you put Gutshot Straight on this archetype, it becomes an anomaly that I have never before seen in my thousands and thousands of hours of playing Destiny 2. And that anomaly is that this is the first weapon that has an optimal TTK requiring 0 crits. That is just 4 to the body on Guardians with tier 6 or lower resilience. I know it says tier 5, but I tested it out myself against a friend who has tier 6 resilience, and it did kill in 4 shots to the body, dealing 49 per shot. So you are going to guaranteed forward tap all warlocks and hunters, and for titans it's going to be 1 crit and 3 body shots, which is incredibly forgiving and easy for newer players to use. And 1 second flat, by the way, is the optimal TTK of a 120 RPM hand cannon such as the Igneous Hammer. Plus, the Posterity is more forgiving in the hands of a lesser skilled player, because if you do miss a shot, you're going down to 1.3 TTK. With the Igneous Hammer, you're going down to 1.5 TTK. But obviously, this has a lot more range, and it's a lot deadlier in the hands of a skilled player, but this is definitely a lot more user-friendly. However, it doesn't stop there, because we're going to be on Solar Hunter with the Acrobat Dodge to get Radiant on command that is extended by Ember of Solace. When we do our Acrobat Dodge, we get 15 seconds of Radiance, and we also have Ember of Torches, so that when we get hit with our proxy throwing knife, we're getting 12 seconds of Radiance. And for our exotic armor, we are using the Sixth Coyote to get a second dodge as well, so we can try to be Radiant at all times with our Acrobat's Dodge. So when we go and add Radiant to the mix, we are getting that 4 body shot TTK on any resilience of Guardian. And in tier 8 and below, we can even kill in just 3 crits at a 0.67 TTK, which is ridiculously fast. That is the same as the Immortal with Target Lock, which is also a 0.67 TTK. So yeah, it's pretty strong and extremely forgiving. All you gotta do is land 4 shots and you're good. You don't have to worry about hitting crits. Now, everybody has a scummy thing they do in Crucible. Crucible is full of cheese, and for me, the scummy thing that I do is I like to teabag shoot. However, it's not easy to teabag shoot with a precision weapon. The most far-fetched thing I can do teabag shooting with is like the Crimson and the Graviton Lance. However, with the Posterity, since you do not have to hit crits and you only have to hit the body, you can easily slide into engagements and teabag shoot with this weapon, making it even deadlier. Now, there is one more thing you can do to increase the consistency of your Posterity and this build in general, which I did not do during the background gameplay for this video, and I should have done. But on your cloak, I am running utility kickstart to get my Acrobat dodges more, but I didn't really notice this procking. I think it may be bugged, it's just not working for Acrobat's Dodge. So what you should do is, since you're running Reaper and you're, doing your Acrobat's Dodge, you're gonna get a kill, you can make an orb. Now when you pick up that orb, you should have time dilation with a couple copies of Arc Weapon Surge on your boots. And let's go over to D2 Foundry real quick. So when you do that and you grab that orb from Reaper, proccing double surge with time dilation, you add that to the mix here, add a couple weapon surges. With 2 surges on, you also get that 4 body shot TTK without radiant. So that is another way to just make the build more consistent and have that constant uptime of this damage buff. So like I said, I didn't do this for the background gameplay, but I should have, and this is a change that I'll make for the future. So with that being said, let's roll some highlights while I talk about the rest of the build. Now real quick, I'm going to give the same disclaimer that I made in the PvP video that I did last week, but I am not that good at Crucible, so take the gameplay with a grain of salt. But even despite that, this combo made this weapon so easy to use that I actually did pretty well, and I top fragged most of the games I played. So anyways, let's go over the rest of the build. Starting with the subclass, we got On Your Mark and Knock 'em Down as our aspects, along with the proximity throwing knives. I feel like those are the best knives. Got Blade Barrage, but you can use whatever super you like, obviously. I already talked about Ember of Solace and Ember of Torches for our Radiant shenanigans. Now for the rest of what we got here, I think the only relevant one really is Ember of Searing, which defeating scorched targets grants you melee energy and creates a fire sprite, which could come into play if you tag an enemy with your proximity throwing knife. However, I do just have Ember of Combustion and Char for these stat boosts, so those slots are very flexible and you can really use whatever you want. However, I will give an honorable mention to Ember of Empyrean. It's a solar weapon or ability final blows, extend the duration of restoration and radiant applied to you, and we are running the healing grenades to get that restoration. And if you are using the conditional finality shotgun instead of the fracted fist like I am, that actually counts as a solar weapon in addition to a stasis weapon, so it will extend the duration of those effects with Ember of Empyrean. But I am not running that because personally I do not like the conditional finality and I prefer the fracted fist. Now for my mod setup, it's really quite simple. Got arc targeting, arc unflinching, arc loader, arc dexterity, just everything to benefit the posterity. Don't really need anything to help out my shotgun because it already has quick draw, so don't really got to worry about that. Now for the rest of the mods here, it's not the setup that I had in the gameplay, but it's a setup that I think you should run with the double arc surges with the time dilation. Pair that with Reaper to make that orb. Pick up that orb, you also get some nade energy back on Innervation, and I got Bomber to get some nade energy back when I do my Acrobat Dodge. Now stat-wise, got 100 mobility, obviously need that for the Acrobat Dodges, then got 100 discipline and invested as much into recovery as I possibly could, can only hit tier 8, then I threw the rest into strength while maintaining a minimum of 3 intellect. Resilience doesn't really matter, but make sure you have a minimum of 2 so you can survive the 2 head 1 body from a 140 RPM hand cannon. So that's pretty much it. It's an extremely easy, noob friendly build to use. It's just so nice that you can just slide into engagements and just teabag shoot away. I know it's kind of scummy, but like I said, Crucible's full of cheese right now. And being able to teabag shoot with a precision weapon and have no consequence of doing so is awesome. So if you know that you're bad at Crucible because you suck at aiming, then this is the build for you, because this is an extremely forgiving weapon to use. Literally do not have to hit crits at all. So as always, I'll leave a dim loadout link to the build down below in the description and the pinned comment if you would like to give it a try. And if you have any buddies or hunter mains, I'd appreciate if you share the video with them. I'm sure they find it enjoyable as well. So as we approach the end of this video, I'm going to show some of the end screens from the Crucible games that we had in the background gameplay during this video, just to show how easy it is to top frag with this build, just from its sheer ease of use. And keep in mind, this is skill-based matchmaking. And like I said before, I'm no good at Crucible. So if I can easily top frag with this build, I'm sure you can too, because no doubt in my mind, you're a better PvP player than I am. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment, because interacting with the video like that really helps out the algorithm and goes a long way, so I greatly appreciate it. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here, and with that, I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.